Getting the most and getting the most out of this course. A few tips on learning and how you can actually get the most out of this course. In order to win the game, you need to be in the game. You need to participate and play full on. In learning, it's actually the same thing. So a few tips on what you can do to actually get the most information and the most personal transformation out of this course. So one is actually complete the course. There are many people who do an online course but never ever finish. So it's really important that you start and finish and dedicate some time to actually do the work, to watch the videos, to do the exercise and complete the course. If you struggle with that, let me know and we'll figure it out how we can help you. So, but please stick in the course and finish the course. Do the assignments. The assignments are an integral part of learning. Learning is not just hearing a story. Learning is not just hearing a video. There are many people who do that, just listening to the video and you learn. That's not the case. Learning is actually what happens inside of your brain. It changes inside of the brain, and that does not happen by listening to a story alone. The assignments, the many different assignments that I have designed and I will design are specifically geared towards giving you experiences, how this information can be applied. So do the assignments and write up your experience of the assignments in the forum. Ask questions. Ask questions to yourself about the content. What does this mean? How can I relate this? What is Uncle John doing with this? If this is true for Aunt True, how does that work for her? What is happening? How does this apply to me? About the content. Ask questions to other students. How do you see this? What is your perspective? Do you have an example of that? Ask questions to me. If you ask me questions, I can explain it in a different way. Get into a Skype and we'll record a Q&A session. Use that ability to ask questions. Use the ability to contact me and be in connection, and so I can answer the questions you have. Interact on the forum. Ask the questions to other people. What do you mean? How do you see that? Give your perspective on the forum. So actually be actively involved in the forum. The more active you are involved, the more you will learn. So these are some generic tips. Now I'll get into a more specific part of the tips. And like one of the students said, and I really like that, the one that does the work does the learning. If you're just sitting there and listening to the videos, and that's all you do, that's all you get. If you do the work, you do the learning. And sometimes a video of like 5 minutes can take you an hour to process. When I first learned this material, I first started researching this, it took me sometimes a day to comprehend one page or one sentence or one structure. So it's good, and it's really important to think about it and how does it apply to you. Just do not think that this is the truth. How does it work for you? So the first tip is dedicate learning time. So disable all distractions, disable your phone, disable your email, disable your fellow roommates, household, whatever. Now I'm learning. And usually the time of learning can be really, it's not hours that you have to dedicate learning time, but really dedicate 15 minutes, maybe an hour. Now I'm studying, now I'm learning. Just by dedicating that learning time, you get into a learning mood. And the learning mood or the learning state will help you remember and help you focus. The first step is go over all your notes of your previous lessons, of the entire course. So quickly go over all the notes so you get a small refresher. And do this every single time that you start studying. Going over all your notes will spark up some thoughts, will get you into the content. Then go over the notes of your last lesson in detail. So first go over all your notes pretty quickly. Just sift through to let it sink in again, and then go over your notes of the last lesson in much more detail. So you know what was going on in the last lesson and what topics we discussed, what it resonates with you, what questions do you have in mind, what questions did pop up lately, and add to the notes. Then you start working on a video. And the first part is watch the video in one go. No note taking, no pausing, no breaks, just press play, watch the video until it ends. This will allow you to get the entire concept as an overview of that video, which functions as like as kind of an overview of the content. Then rewind the video and watch the video again. Now you can pause and rewind and make a lot of notes. What do I say? What questions come up in your mind? What connections can you make with your personal life, with your stories that you heard, with your experience? The more connections you can make, the better. If needed, you can make screenshots of the screen, so you can put it into your notes, and you can get a nice overview of what this lesson is all about. One thing about making notes: the best way possible is making notes by hand, like really writing with pen and paper. When you type in notes, it's better than making no notes, but making it by hand is even better than typing it in. So the best way would be writing it and then typing it in and creating the screenshots. So after you watch the video again and you finished making your notes, it would be great to create a quiz. Create a quiz? Yes, create a quiz. What is X? What is Y? Why is this important? How does this resonate with X? And create flashcards out of that. Flashcards is like this dual-sided index cards. On one side you write the question, and on the other side you write the answer. And in this way you can actually create your own quiz, rehearsal, and you can go over that when you have a spare minute or two. Just take a flashcard out and play with it. Then find relevance in your life. Where do you see this process, topic? How do you recognize it? How can you apply this? What is the relevance? Why is this important for you? And how can you apply that? And you can add that to your notes. Do the actual exercise and write up the answer in the forum. It is partly of creating a way of thinking in your mind, and at the same time it's getting it out of your system into typing into the forum. So you need to rephrase your experience into your own wordings. And the rephrasing is also part of the learning, because it needs to, in order to rephrase something, you need to have processed it. You cannot rephrase something by not processing it. And processing and find a connection, that's where all the learning is. Then go to the forum and read other people's exercise examples. What is their answer to the exercise? What is their perception, experience with the exercise? Interact with them. That's why we created a forum instead of sending the exercises just to me. The goal is to see other people's exercises and to be able to interact with them. Ask them questions. Give them your perspective. Hey, great that you had this experience. I also had the similar experience, or I look at it from a different aspects. This is my perspective. And explain the content in your own wordings. This is again rephrasing part, and by rephrasing, you need to process it. And that's also part of the deep learning structures instead of just superficial learning. These are some examples. These are some tips that you can use to get the most out of this course. I hope they're valuable to you, and let me know what you think.
Do you want to learn more? Why don't you let me know what you would like to learn, so I can make more of that.